Hello, welcome to kind of a quick overview of my experience of using the HP All-in-One 20E014A. We're looking at the HP support site, and this is you can kind of think of it like a tablet computer, really. The kind of thing that you'd have in maybe on your kitchen or something like that for people to browse the internet, maybe. That's about all it's really capable of doing. The system itself is quite low spec, this particular one. The spec here is the same as what I'm actually running. And as I scroll up and down, even though the capturing software is gonna kill some of our frame rate, you can probably tell it's pretty low end. This is the 1.6 gigahertz version. Yeah, it's got integrated. You've got 4 gigabyte memory. There's probably options for upgrading that. Haven't bothered to actually look inside, if at all. Integrated graphics. The 3D performance is terrible, so don't buy this under the assumption you're going to do gaming with it. You're not. Absolutely not. The hard drive performance is incredibly slow, actually. 5400 RPM on the drive, and it's very slow to boot up and slow to shut down. Quite frustrating, actually. The actual layout of the system, the look of the system, yeah, it's quite appealing. You've got the nice speakers down the bottom here, which are quite good. The keyboard and mouse that come with it are terrible. They are awful. Leave them in the box. Go buy yourself a better keyboard or mouse, or use maybe your main PC ones on them. Really, I wouldn't bother. Probably by now you can tell I'm not a big fan of the system, and I'm really not. It was given to me. My laptop died, and someone else purchased it for me. I thought, oh wow, amazing, you know. And now I've had it for a little while. I'm going, wow, it was a nice gift, but I'm not going to have to get something else. What I want this system to be able to do is really just be able to browse the internet comfortably, and it all boils down to the performance of that central processor. The display looks fine. It's not a touchscreen one, which is cool because I didn't really want one. Let's go back to the desktop. It's running Windows 10, by the way. I'm equally not a big fan of Windows 10. I don't like the way, in fact, I don't like anything about it. I know people love this stuff, and that's fair enough. If you're a Windows 10 purist, then more power to you. But for me, it just does a lot of things that annoy the living hell out of me. We've got the search engine here, for example. You can actually speak to it. Seems like they've gone to a lot of trouble to sort of hide a lot of the classic parts of the control panel. So you've got to search for things here, or you can go through the start bar as normal and go to settings. It's generally everything you do is quite slow. So look at our system. Not too bad actually that time. I might go through them all. With some simple productivity software. So Paint.net's a free paint application. It's nowhere near as heavy as something like Photoshop. So it runs pretty well. If you're Oh, yeah, okay. So look, you could get away with using this to do some photo manipulation. I've certainly done that with it already, so I can't say that it's no good for that. Some recent things. I think it was just some compositing stuff that I did for something else. Yeah, there's one there. So a little layered, just another video I made. I need a quick little image to kind of talk over, and that was one of those things there. Let's get out of this project. Don't save that. Not particularly attractive. Sublime text editor. This one seems to run okay, given how simple this kind of project is. We'll look at a bit of HTML, see how we go. When I scroll through, it's pretty laggy. Like I'm well behind that, and if I'm typing sometimes, you get this kind of really sort of laggy sense, which is a shame. I mean, the main thing is really when you fire up the browser and go to Google or something like that, or Facebook actually is a really awful one. I'm typing and this is nothing, absolutely nothing. Because the pages, modern web pages in particular, they run a lot of JavaScript in the browser. Even really simple things. I didn't really want to search for that. Pictures of dogs, we'll say. See what it feels like. Oh, very nice. That's a cute dog, isn't it? That one. So I guess what I'm getting at is who this system is aimed for. Now, if you want to play games, this is not for you. If you want to do very basic, I really mean very basic browsing, you'll probably be okay with this system. But even running antivirus in the background, you notice a big decline in performance straight away. I've tried a couple already. It came bundled with a lot of what I would call, I won't call it malware, but it came with a bundle with a lot of trials and 1 month kind of. So the product's kind of activated for 30 days, and you've got to buy it to go within. And when you don't buy, they're very annoying. The antivirus that came with it was particularly horrible like that, actually. We'll play a video on here. Yeah, it's getting there. Give it some time, it's getting there. Just turn the sound off of that, actually. It's slow and jerky because we've got we're capturing this as we're going along. It normally plays all right. I do notice that my network connection here, and we have NBN fiber here in where I live. I'm Australian, by the way. Comparing this to my laptop, the laptop wins hands down. You cannot get a decent speed connection out of it. I don't really know why. Maybe a settings problem, fair enough. But out of the box, yeah, not too good. So I'll give that a pause. Go out of there. Alright, so what am I kind of saying? Well, I just want to make sure that if you're going to purchase one of these systems, one of these HP systems, HP 20 EO14A, all the one desktop PCs, make sure you're very clear on what you want it to do. If you just want to do simple email, you want to browse simple sites that don't have a lot of heavy JavaScript in them, or these days things like OpenGL, although probably some of those things do seem to work okay with it. So playing browser games is probably not going to be very successful for you. Some stuff may play great, other stuff may not, may be a train wreck. Of course, doing things like heavier stuff like video processing, like I'm doing here, it can do it, and I'm using, what am I using at the moment? I'm using Open Broadcaster to do the desktop capture, so you can do it. Almost nothing else will even get, well, it's nowhere near fast enough to do small screen captures with pretty much every other piece of software I've tried. There's probably better commercial solutions, but for the kind of things that I want to make and use the system for, it goes well above that. So yeah, just to really nail down on the kind of person who this system is going to be good for. If you just want to do simple web browsing, maybe some light social media. I do notice that in Facebook in particular, running the web client, it's really quite terrible, and that could be a combination of, well, the Facebook website is very heavy in JavaScript. For most people are not aware, is that that stuff executes on your computer in your web browser, and those languages are very high level, and they tend to require a lot of extra processing to make them run seamlessly fast. So if you want to do some email, some basic browsing, some social media catch up. I'm not a big social media person, but all the platforms out there. I certainly don't. Gaming, definitely out, and some light. It's actually okay to do sound stuff on this. So it should be more than ample in terms of performance to do your average kind of sound editing, and same as picture editing. So if you want to grab some, do some cropping in your photos, or maybe some sort of post production stuff in your photos, but I wouldn't get too crazy about it. The disk performance is quite terrible, so if you have to copy lots of files to the system, don't be surprised that if it takes a long time. And the USB performance in the side, there are slots up here. I'll just show you up on this right hand edge here, is terrible. I don't know why. I have no idea, but it can take 30-40 minutes to copy files across to your average USB stick. So, which work fine on other systems as well. And my last gripe really is that because it's running Windows 10, that it loves to jump in and update itself constantly. You can change the settings for update. I realise that. It's not a very pleasant environment. You can change the stuff here. Currently, it keeps failing to install a bunch of updates here. And the other day, the whole system was in some sort of deadlock, trying to update pretty much all afternoon, and it just kept failing to install. And then it finally grabbed all of the files, went through the installation process, and then said, "Oh, I'm sorry, this can't be completed," and then rolled back. And it took hours. So wasn't terribly impressed. You can switch off updating if you want to do some. I won't tell you how to do it, but you can jump on YouTube and you can find how to turn that off. Probably shouldn't. because of the amount of malware that's out there these days. Okay, I'll leave that there. So just make sure that if you're buying this for someone, that they're okay with a system that's pretty underpowered. Now I know these things might be cheap, but you certainly should have it shouldn't be too much to ask that your system is capable of doing very basic everyday requirements. I find this system to be probably about 2 or 3 times slower than my old desktop, which is about 13 years old now. Unbelievable, I know, but it's quite depressing. Well, not that depressing, really. It's quite frustrating, you know. So I think, oh well, this will be great. I'll be able to get rid of the old clunker and get rid of the laptop maybe, and the DVD writer seems to be, yeah, like it's saying here, data rate's up to 10K. I haven't seen anywhere near that. And I was doing backups off this last night actually. Wasn't getting anywhere near that sort of rate. Mem card stuff, I don't know, haven't used it. Beyond that, I do think that it's a nice looking system, and if you have the opportunity to get one and that has a higher processor in it, then probably you'd find it really satisfactory actually. A bit more memory there as well, and a better integrated graphics chip. You'd probably find the whole experience much more enjoyable. But for me, it's a bit of a thumbs down at this point. Anyway, sorry to lumber my horrible experience onto you guys. Just wanted to make my feelings about the system known, really. I have used it to do a lot of video processing, and with the Open Broadcaster software and this thing here, VSDC, another free editing tool, very useful, and Virtual Dub's very useful tool. The kind of videos I make are, I'll put a title at the front, the video runs, and the title at the end. That's it. You know, and this thing's kind of fast enough to do a lot of that sort of stuff. You know, so just load one of those projects up. So there you go. This video has no titles at all. It's just basically the around the backyard there. I must have moved that file. It's a bummer. Yeah. Close all projects. Let's get out of it. So you can do video stuff. The encoding is very slow. The editing is quite clumsy. OBS kind of probably has other codecs built into it, but it saves in sort of FLV format, which is a keyframe format, which means you have to go forward and back all the time. It can be quite clumsy. And coming back to the speed of a hard drive in this system here, it's just not an enjoyable practice. So if I need to record the desktop to do little tutorials, I'll often record them on here, copy all the files off onto a USB, head up to the desktop and do them on there, which is a shame. It'd be nice to be able to do everything just on the one system and be able to make that content very quickly, but unfortunately it's not really the way it goes. So enough. Sorry, I really are rambling. I hope you found something useful about the video. I know my opinions are probably going to upset some people. Sorry about that. Hopefully we'll upgrade and get something a bit more satisfactory. Thank you, and bye.